The last thing we're going to talk about in this section is how to create new variables from existing variables. So suppose you have some observable data, but it doesn't tell you exactly what you want. Can you process that data to get what you want? And by process, we mean do something to those numbers using a formula. Let's look at an example. The example we're going to look at is called fry efficiency. What is efficiency? Well, that's a lack of waste. Let's think about a fast food joint. Pick your favorite fast food place. The question is, how efficiently are they using their fries? Well, fries are wasted if they're not sold, right? That's waste. So the question is, what portion of the fries that are used in the building are actually sold instead of wasted? Ways fries can be wasted, they can be dropped on the floor. A customer complains they're not cooked very well and wants a new order. Or, when I used to work at Arby's in college, and when it was slow, we used to just sit there and eat fries out of the bin. So the question is, what portion of the fries that left the building on a given day were actually sold? Let's take a look at some data that's observable. So what we're looking at is an Excel file containing 2 weeks worth of fry data, observable fry-related data at some fast food franchise. Column A contains the number of small fry orders that were sold for each day. Column B, same thing for large fries. And each row represents a day. Column C are the numbers of bags that we've used. So the fries come in these bags, right, when they come into the restaurant. And then they're open. Some of them are poured into a little fry thing, and they're dropped into grease and cooked and fried. So how many bags did we use on a given day? The other thing to keep in mind is we may have a bag that we've only partially used, but we didn't use all of it. So what's done at the end of the day is the last bag that's hasn't been completely used, only partially used, is weighed. And what we have in column D contains that weight in pounds. So for example, on the first day, there wasn't much left in that last partially used bag, 0.96 pounds. So these are the observable values. These are the observable variables that we have. And we want to know what portion of what was used was actually sold. The key thing to ask yourself is what units can we use to measure this in? We've got orders of small fries, orders of large fries, numbers of bags used. Those are all kinds of different units. And then the last one gives us something more concrete, the weight of the last bag. So let's see if we can use weight as our units, weight in pounds. So if we can convert all of these columns to pounds, then we can combine them in a way that helps us figure out our efficiency. So we go back to our supervisor at the corporate office and we ask them, hey, what's the weight of the how much do the small fry orders weigh? How much do the large fry orders weigh? How much do each of the boxes weigh? Or bags weigh? And they tell us. And the answers we collect, and I'll show you the answers in the following, well, let's take a look at what the answers we got were. So our observable variables in pounds are as follows. Small fry orders, each order weighs 0.26 pounds. Large fry orders, each large fry order weighs 0.44 pounds. The bags we found out each weigh 5 pounds. And now the weight of the last bag is what was unused. So we're going to have to convert that to what was used. So let's go back to the spreadsheet and let's start putting together a formula. So what we're going to do is we're going to convert all of these columns to pounds sold or pounds used. Here's a way to do this. So rather than putting one big gigantic formula together and putting it in at the end, instead what we're going to do is just do one column at a time, one step at a time. So first, I want to convert fries sold into pounds of small orders. So I'm going to insert, so I right click on the column. This is how to create a new column in Excel. So I right click and select insert. And now this is going to be weight of small fries sold. That's a little small, so let's expand this a little bit. Recall that we were told that each small fry order weighed 0.26 pounds. Let's put that formula in. So we're going to say equals. Remember, that tells Excel a formula is coming. And then we're going to write 0.26. Then we have to use the asterisk, which is above the number 8, to explicitly multiply. And now, so we can drag and drop, let's use the cell reference A2. So on the first day, 31.98 pounds of fries were sold in the form of small fry orders. Let's drag it down. So now we've converted small fries to small fry orders to the weight of pounds sold in small fries. Let's do the same with large fries. So again, I right-clicked to insert a column. Oops. Weight of larges sold. And just like I did with the small fries, I just simply multiply the large fries by, this time it's 0.44 pounds. And so the cell reference here is in C2. Oops. What's the problem? What mistake did I make? I forgot to put an equal sign. So Excel thinks that's text. There we go. And drag and drop. So I've converted all of the fries sold into weights. So now let's find, the next thing we want to do is figure out the total weight of all fries sold between the two orders. Insert another column. Now I'm going to say weight, I'm going to make that bold like the others, of fries sold. Well, the total weight, we add the weight of the smalls sold to the weight of the largest sold. So that's equals, formula's coming, B2, smalls sold, plus D2, largest sold. So on day 2, we sold 104 pounds of fries and change. Great. So we've got the total amount of fries sold in pounds. Then what we need to do is divide by the total weight of fries used. Remember, used is broader than sold because some of those fries were used and wasted. So let's figure out the pounds of the bags that were used. Weight of bags used. Remember, each bag is 5 pounds, so we simply multiply what's in column F by 5, drag and drop. So these are the total weights from the bags that we completely used, right? We fully used all of those bags. And now we've got to remember that the column H doesn't contain what we've used. It contains the part of the bag that we did not use. So we need to have the weight of last bag used. I need a little more space. So make this space. So if I use 0.96, if I didn't use 0.96 pounds, then the part that I did use, I subtract 5. 5 minus H2. Whoops, left out the equals. And the 4.04 represents the weight of the last bag that I used. So I drag and drop. And now I'm finally getting somewhere. Now I need the weight of fries used, the total weight. So what's that consist of? Well, we've got the bags that we used. On this day, we used 110 pounds versus full bags, plus an additional 4.04 pounds from the last bag, and we simply add those up to get 114.04. So we add weight of bags used, G2, plus weight of last bag used, I2. Whoops, G2 plus I2, and there's our 114.04. So now what do we have? We have the total weight of all the fries that we sold, and we have the total weight of all the fries that we used. We would like to know what portion of the fries that were used, 114.04, is made up by the fries that were used for their intended purpose, sales, 104.14. Now we just form a ratio and we divide, and we call that our fry efficiency. So the weight of fries sold is in column E, and that's our top. And we divide by the weight of fries used, that's column J. And now it tells that on the first day, we sold 91% of the fries that we used. And we can drag and drop this. And let's go over here and convert it to percentages. This tells us we've got a 91% efficiency on our fries on day 1, day 2 was 95%, and so on. Now you can take a look at this, and let's say you have some sort of benchmark. You want your fry efficiencies to all be above 90%. So then you can say, well, here this day is a problem. This day is a problem, and that's it. In these 2 weeks, the 5th day at 88% and the 8th day at 86% are the problem areas. You can find out who was managing those days and talk to them about trying to improve the efficiency records. Here's what I want you to take away. When the raw observable data you have doesn't tell you what you want to know, we use formulas to turn it into, to torture it, to massage it, to get it to tell us what we want to know. And the second thing is when you're using Excel, you don't need to make one big formula. You can make each column be a single step leading to your final answer. And finally, a key to making a good formula and figuring out how to take your observables and figure out how to process them is to think carefully about units. In the next section, we're going to talk about what to do when there's irrelevant data.